I know a lot of you out there are going through rough times, and I've got this question multiple times from many of you talking about how to build grit, how to build a strong, stoic mindset. Now, there's no easy answer. There's no magic button. There's a saying, the best things in life can't be taught. You have to experience it. A lot of you, I don't know if you're familiar with it, many of you are. I've had my fair share of interesting stories in the past. Many times run into the law when I was younger, been to jail, I've been shot, I've been stabbed, I've had 2 ODs, probably more than 7 times near-death experiences, like real near-death experiences. So I've gone through all of it. I've been broke a million times, have a shit ton of money a million times, ups and downs, smiles and frowns. And so I've gone through the ringer. And whether it's me or the other million people in the world, the common denominator, and Viktor Frankl talks about this, is the response to your stimulus. A lot of people, when confronted with a challenge, their response becomes a reaction of despair. Which is normal, I get it. But that despair doesn't take you anywhere. That despair creates a victim. And that victim creates a victimhood mindset. Or when you enter the victimhood mindset, that's when you become a slave. That's when there is no hope. That's where you view the world in scarcity, where you view the world in a fearful state, where there is no room to grow. And this is what we are seeing today. There are a very clear divide among 2 types of people. There are people who are self-dependent individuals, sovereign people, or people who want to be sovereign, who want to provide for themselves. I find it funny, I remember the stories, rest in peace, my dad and my mom still. And, they escaped former Yugoslavia, Titoville. And everything was provided by the state. It was a communist party. But majority of people didn't want a dime from the government. It was frowned upon. There's an honor in the fact that you can provide for your family. And you can take the honor out of it. I'm not big on honor. I'm big on skills and mindset. There's a power you have when you know you can provide. And that power is applicable anywhere in the world. I mentioned in my video earlier, the one superpower that you can have is meta learning and the ability to adapt in different circumstances. And so yeah, right now it's difficult. Right now there's a lot of unknowns going into the future, and there's a lot of despair right now. But it's up to you to decide what you're going to do with your time right now. It's up to you to decide what type of person you're going to be. Just think about all the people in your past that have gone through much worse circumstances. World War II, World War I, Vietnam War, Iraq War, Yugoslavian War, you name it. There's been a million wars. Bombs dropping over your head, hiding behind a door, or hiding in your bunker so you don't get shot by a sniper. This is serious. And so we're in an economic collapse. Let's be honest, I'm a realist. We're entering a recession to a depression. Now, as opposed to us hiding in a cave or like an ostrich, we put our head in the sand. Use this opportunity. Use this opportunity to grow, to learn, become a stoic. Gary Vee even talks about this. If you had nothing, what would you do? As opposed to relying on the government, you need to rely on yourself. I'm a huge proponent on really digging in deep and asking yourself the tough questions. And number one tough question is, why do I behave this way? Why do I think this way? If you are thinking in a fearful state and you're expecting other people to solve your problem, why are you thinking like this? There's a fundamental reason why you're thinking this way. It's because of your childhood, your parents, your upbringing, of course. The reason that we are today, or the reason that you are who you are today, is majority of how you were brought up, where you're brought up, makes you who you are, and obviously genetics. I've done videos about this. But the beautiful thing is we can rewire how you think. I've had to rewire myself numerous times, and I'm going to constantly rewiring myself. There is no truth, but there is one fundamental common denominator: the yearning and the ability to become an independent, sovereign person. The love of learning, the love of pain, the love of being able to adapt. And it's never been easier, to be honest with you, if I'm being honest with you. The tools that we have today, the accessibility to the internet, social media, the things that, that we can't, like our parents couldn't fathom. Like my parents, they came from black and white analog time. Like TV wasn't even there. Cars weren't there. They come from a small, it's a mind fuck for me when I think about it. Horse and carriage, no technology, to now we're talking about AI, artificial intelligence. It's like 80 years. It's crazy. And so it's never been easier. But it's on you. It's on you. You complaining doesn't change the fact. It doesn't change the position that you're in. I actually applaud people that don't complain and are content where they are. I actually applaud them for that. But the people that constantly complain but don't change their behavior, that's a problem. Listen, let's all agree it's a fact that 90% of people are economically affected. Cool. Well, not cool, but okay, it's a fact. It's a fact that there is no foreseeable straight line to how the future is going to be. Great. Never is, never will be. There's no fun in life that way. But what is a common denominator, and the most important thing is you. It's you. Stop clinging on to old narratives of the past. Stop clinging on to the stories that you were most likely, I would say 95% of the time, inherently given. The stories of money was inherently given to me by my parents. The reason why I'm more libertarian type of mindset is because of my parents. It's no surprise. And so you need to ask yourself, if you are complaining and you're not doing something about it, why? Why are you like that? And then ask yourself, the people that are successful, and you have your own definition of success, the people that are successful, most likely most people don't like them. There's a saying, first I read it from J. Krishnamurti, which if you guys haven't, please go into his stuff, like way ahead of his time. Anytime that we see somebody and right away we have an instinctive reaction that we don't like him or her, it's a reflection of things that we don't like in ourselves. And so if you see somebody that is successful, that's rich or whatever, and you don't like that individual, that there's a huge hidden truth in there that you don't like yourself. We can get into dualities of talking about you and I are one. There is no division. It's all illusion. It's a hologram, to be honest with yourself, biocentrism. And so you need to really be honest with yourself. That's it, man. You have to be honest with yourself. There's no easy answers. I had to, looking at my past, the things I had to go through, the pains I have to go through, and the pains I will go through. But that's the beautiful thing about being a human being. Joseph Campbell said it the best. It's not the end that matters, it's the journey. It's about falling in love with the journey, falling in love with learning, falling in love with the process, and not giving up, right? Remember what I said about fail, first attempt at learning. Listen, you have so much potential, you have so much opportunities, don't waste it. You will blink and you will be 80 years old and you will die. Muhammad Ali had a saying before, he's like, a man who views the world as 70 the same as he did as 40 has lost 30 years. And then Abraham Lincoln has a saying, it's not the number of years that matters, but the life in the years that matter. And time flies by really fast. I'm 35. I'm going to be 40 soon. And time is the most important resource we have on the planet, non-renewable. And I just see so much opportunity for everybody to help each other out. So much opportunity. Everywhere. Like it's endless opportunity. But it's the fear narrative that they use to hold us down. Right? Just keep that in mind. There's always a narrative of fear. This is how they control you, to put you in a depressive state. When you're depressed, what happens? cortisol levels rise, sleep decreases, you put on weight, and you become dependent on pharmaceutical drugs, dependent on bad foods, dependent on the government. But if you are happy and healthy, you got good testosterone, good estrogen, good serotonin, good dopamine, you become independent. You eat healthy foods, you don't rely on pharmaceutical drugs, you don't rely on the government. And this is the most dangerous things to organized institutions, self-sovereign individuals, people who don't follow the herd. But it's not easy, and it's never going to be easy. But you just got to face the fact and fall in love with the process. And I'll leave it at that. If you guys have any questions for me, leave a comment below, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace out.